Hello and welcome to Sidequest. This is our weekly video game show here at Geekverse. I am your host, Dylan Muss, and I am not alone. I have with me Taylor Field. How you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing most pleasantly well tonight.
I don't not like the way you said that at all. And I'm joined by the guy who has a new haircut. He's got a new phone, but he's the same old Kirklin. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me. It is it's the eve of my birthday today, so it's a special festive evening.
Birthday eve, which means that the day this episode drops, it is your birthday. So head over to the
Scary.
Discord to chat with us and wish Kirkland a happy birthday, because I'm sure he'd appreciate that. I better see some birthday wishes in that. In that
That's why I brought it up. I'm just like asking for well wishes.
see some notifications popping up on that new phone of yours.
Yeah, exactly.
This is going to be a fun episode. We're going to mostly be talking about the Xbox Developer Direct that happened last week. There's a couple other news pieces as well. Talk about the games we've been playing. As terms of shout-outs, not a whole lot. Hit up Patreon to get episodes early and ad-free. Check out the feeds. We have all sorts of things going on these days. My brain doesn't work right now, so I can't remember all of it. But that's why you just got to subscribe. You got to scroll around, see what we're doing, see what we're cooking, all that good stuff. I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to do in this preamble here. So I got a question for you guys. How well would you say that you know the original 151 Pokemon?
Oh, like just the names off the top.
Yeah, like I don't need I'm not asking types and like their favorite color. Just like, do you know them?
Like I if I saw them, I'd be like, oh, that's an original Pokemon. But I wouldn't be able to just name all 151. Like hell no.
How about you, Taylor?
I like my chances, not gonna lie. I really do.
Ooh.
I'm gonna put you guys to the test right now.
Oh my god.
I have on my other screen the classic Sporkle.com with a Pokemon quiz, all 151 original Pokemon. I'm going to give you guys 20 minutes because we could go here all night.
Oh my gosh.
I'll give you 15 minutes. If you get to 100 Pokemon, I'll give you that extra 5 minutes.
Is this team or we every match?
You're a team. You're a
Okay,
team. You're working
God.
together.
Okay.
There's no I don't need you to go 1, 2, 3, 4. You can go whatever you want. You got to go slow enough for me to be able to type them. But are you guys ready to go?
Yes, let's do it. I'll try my best.
Go.
Sound off, Kirkland. Do it. List off what you can.
Do you want to try and do like alphabetical order? Because I don't think I could do that.
Please no. God no. I'll take notes and write down the ones that we get so we don't get.
No, I got it. I got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
I can help you out with that. You guys just need. You're wasting precious seconds.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna start just easy. A Charmander.
He's a classic.
Charmeleon.
Mm-hmm.
Charizard. Get those ones out of the way.
Easy.
Then we got Squirtle. Tortoise, or what the fuck's the second of evolution called?
Oh,
I know
like
it's
this.
Wartortle. I know Wartortle's in there.
There you go.
Taylor,
Oh,
did you
Blastoise.
forget?
There you go. Blastoise is the
I
third
know.
one. There you
Okay.
go.
I know,
Yeah.
but he's scaring me.
Yeah, he was.
And then we have I'm starting from the back. Ivysaur.
Mm-hmm. He's in the middle, I think.
Bulbasaur.
Bulbasaur. There you go. That's the first one. And then what's the last one?
Venusaur. I
Venusaur.
gotcha.
That's a very
Nice.
dinosaur-like
Nice work.
name.
Wait.
Okay, those
why
are
is
the
that,
original.
Is it spelled weird? Why did that not pop up?
Might be
Venusaur.
spelled weird, but it's definitely Venusaur.
Okay, then we got Pikachu, Raichu. I got Pichu.
No,
I believe
that's a
Pichu
Gen
is
2.
not.
Oh,
yeah, it's a Gen
okay.
2. Don't worry, you don't get docked points for being wrong.
I'm worried now already.
Don't get bonus points either.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go Geodude.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Let's go Onyx.
Okay.
Let's go.
Hang on. Go back to Geodude. We'll finish the evolution. There's Graveler, and then there's Golem.
Forgot. I didn't even know Graveler was in there.
How could you forget Gollum?
I have different Golems in my name.
I like that. Taylor, that was smart. Good tactic. I like that a
Keep
lot.
it concise.
Yeah.
Okay, then we got Pidgeotto. We got Zubat in there.
Oh, Pidgeot.
Oh. There's a Pidgeot in there? Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
I always thought these were just two. Thank God you're here. Okay.
Zubat, though. You got that.
We got
Alright,
Zubat.
Zubat.
What's the other evolution of Zubat?
Golbat.
Golbat.
Man, they spell these things in the most ridiculous ways.
Oh my gosh.
keeping up,
Okay. Let's go Jigglypuff.
Wigglytuff.
Wigglytuff. Okay, didn't know that was one.
I
My
thought,
mind's
I thought
going-
that was a Gen 2 actually. But okay, nice.
My mind's going Clefairy now.
Of course,
And
the
then-
combo.
Clefable, I think is the
Clefable.
evolution's name.
Cluffable.
Oh my gosh. Growlithe. That's one that just came in my head. What's the next
Growlithe.
evolution of that? Taylor?
Arcanine.
Arcanine.
Arcanine, if you will.
Arcanine.
Oh gosh, this is rough.
You're at 25 right now.
Star You?
Yeah.
Is that one?
Nice.
Yeah.
What's the other evolution of that?
Starmie.
Starmie. Okay.
Me and Star You.
Is like the seahorse one? Is that Gen 1? Horsey?
Yep. Horsey's Gen 1.
Is that actually Horsey? Okay.
How do you spell
And
horsey?
Um,
I think it's horse with an A at the end, like C.
Oh, an A. Yeah, like C. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Nice.
Seadra, I think, is next.
Nice.
Seadra,
nice. I want to go like Sandslash now. And
You did it.
Sandshrew. that the
Nice.
other one?
Yep.
Good.
Combo. I love those two.
Are like the legendary birds in here? Are those original?
They'd be in. They're
Oh
original
man, okay.
151.
Zapdos, let's go. Articuno,
Yes.
Moltres, let's go.
Popping off with the hat trick.
I'm just picturing my old cards. That's kind of how I'm doing this.
No picturing, no looking at things, only in your mind.
In my
Okay,
visual
okay.
picturing. Okay.
You were looking
Hold
around
the
your room.
binder
I
out
thought you
in
maybe
front
like
of
had
them.
a poster.
Sorry. Okay. I'm screwing myself by going all over different gens or categories. I'm gonna go Ghastly, Haunter. What's the other guy's name? Gengar.
Yeah,
Gengar?
you got it. Nice.
How do you spell gas? Ghastly.
Ghastly.
Oh, what's her name? Jinx. Is Jinx in there?
Yeah, Jinx is there.
Man.
We got some fossil types.
Yes.
We got Kabuto and Kabutops.
Okay, Kabuto. Forgot
We got Ammonite
Kabuto.
and
Nice.
I think it's Omnistar. Omnistar. I'm not sure how you spell that one though.
Oh, I'm struggling with the spelling. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Almanite. Fucking hell, these names. I might have to give you bonus time just because I can't spell this shit.
I guess we didn't say Machamp, Machoke, Machop. That
Yeah,
trio.
nice.
Okay, I'll get those. Those I can spell.
Abra's in there. Isn't they?
Give me the full spell. Give me the full.
We got Abra, we got Kadabra, and we got Alakazam. Is
Yes.
Alakazam a Gen 1? Okay.
There you go.
Nice work. Okay.
We got a Scyther.
Oh baby, give me Scyther.
Scyther's so cool.
Scyther's the best. What's the one that can be everything? What's that one called? Ditto.
Nice. Taylor, what was the Almanite? What did he evolve into again?
Wasn't it? I think it's Omnistar. I want to say,
Omnistar.
but I could not tell you how
I'll look it
that
up.
is spelled.
Oh, I didn't mention.
Omastar. Okay.
I didn't mention Magikarp either. We got Gyarados as well.
Magikarp, Gyarados.
Lapras.
That's a fucking name.
Oh,
right there.
Lapras.
There's
Is Dragonite? Dragonite's got to be in there too?
Dragonite's that's a three stage. So you got
Dragonite, Dragonair, and
Dratini.
oh yes, let's go.
Yeah. Farfetch. That's another one off.
Wow, good pull. I would not have got that one.
I don't know if it's harder for me to spell
Oh,
all these
man.
as you're rifling them off, or harder for you guys to come up with all.
We got Metapod as well. Can never forget Metapod.
Yeah,
can't.
Caterpie, Metapod, Butterfree. That's right.
Oh yeah.
And then you
But-
have
Beedrill. We got Beedrill as well. I remember that episode.
yeah,
Beedrill.
Beedrill, and then Kakuna, and the first form. Why can't I remember that?
It's with a K, I think, right? Yeah, there we go.
It's I think it's a Weasel, or a
Weasel.
Wow.
Weedle.
I remember. Weedle. Thank you. I
Weedle.
was struggling on that one.
I remember
It's
that
like
episode.
Weevil, almost.
What's like the collection of eggs? What's that one called? And then the
Collection
next
of eggs?
evolution, and the next evolution's like a palm tree.
Oh, Execute, and then
Yes.
Executor.
Hell yeah.
There's Oddish, Gloom, and Vileplume.
Hell
Those
yes.
three.
Oddish,
Oh man,
Gloom.
we got some electric types as well. We got Voltorb. That's a Gen 1, right?
Yeah.
Sure
Voltorb's
is.
Gen 1, and then Electrode is the second stage.
Electrode.
Oh, Tentacool, Tentacruel. Is that two different ones?
Tentacool and then Tentacruel.
Nice.
There's Electabuzz.
Oh, nice.
You can't forget Electabuzz.
Oh man, and of course we got Ekans. We got Arbok. We've
Yeah.
also got Muck.
Muck.
What's the next Muck? It's like Grimoire or something like that. Grimer.
Grimer. You got it.
Nice.
We might as well
Cool.
knock off Eevee and Jolteon, Vaporeon, Flareon.
Holy
Those
shit.
ones out.
Is there more than that, or do more come later on?
There's
Every
more
generation.
later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, what is the fire one called again?
Flareon.
Flareon.
Uh,
Okay. You guys are doing really good. You're at 78 right now out of 151.
There's like a
Mewtwo
Tauros
and
or
Mew.
something like that. Oh yeah,
Tauros, yes, thank you.
Mewtwo and
the
Mew.
one.
Tauros, that's an easily forgettable one. So good pull.
I'm trying to think of more like
Oh, Aerodactyl. That's another one.
nice, good one.
Okay.
Is there like other ghosts we forgot, or
Chansey. That's another one.
Oh, Chansey. That's like the Pokemon Center one.
Yes, that's right.
Now, how come Chansey is spelled weird? What's going on here? Oh, with an S. Okay, I see what you're doing over there.
Oh man, slowing down. There's like other fighting types, right? There's like the one
Thank
that
you,
where
Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan.
yes,
Thank you.
Such funny names. Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. Okay. I think I missed a couple that you guys said.
Snorlax.
I'm trying to keep up as
Nice.
best I can though. Nice one.
Other flyers that we might have forgot. Oh, did we say Diglett and Dig Trio? Those
That's
guys.
good. Good. We didn't say those yet. No.
Oh, you already said it. Farfetch'd. Or
Yeah,
no,
Farfetch'd.
You did say that. Yep.
Woobot or something like that. Is that Gen 1?
A
You already got
Woobat
Zubat.
comes. I think that's Gen 3 or
Okay,
4. That's
okay.
later.
I'm getting
That's
later
good,
on.
Good pick.
Oh, what about Meowth?
Yes.
That's
and
right.
what's the next one?
Persian.
Persian. Nice.
Persian.
The unknowns that wouldn't have come right now, right?
No,
That's
that's Gen,
Gen
2.
Okay.
I'll give you guys a hint because I have a poster here. You can get hints from all those.
Oh, coughing, wheezing.
Yeah, those two. And there's Slowpoke, Slowking, Seal, and
Is that Woobat
what's-
there in there? Waboof or
Oh,
whatever the fuck it's called?
Psyduck and Golduck.
Oh, nice.
Wobbuffet's Gen 2.
Wobbuffet. Is
Yeah, that's all you
Porygon
got.
one?
Porygon, yes, that's definitely one good pick.
Oh, yes.
Are you all caught up, Dylan? Do we?
I
So
couldn't
we
type while I
outpace
was
you?
doing that. Why is
Okay.
seal? Why can't I spell seal? I hate how they
It's like
spell these
EEL,
things.
isn't it?
Oh yeah, there's two E's. Okay.
Why can't I remember Seal's evolution name? Ooh, that's a tough one.
It's probably a play on walrus or something like that.
Oh, it's on the. I can see it. I can see the Pokemon, but I can't remember how to say its name. Yeah, there's Porygon. Kirklin said there was Psyduck, Golduck.
Yeah, got all those.
coughing,
Got all those.
wheezing, Slowpoke, Slowking.
Slow King. Is that one of them?
Or Slowbro. Sorry, Slowking comes later.
Solo, bro.
Yeah, you're missing the evolution there.
Oh, there's Cloyster, and there's what was the?
Cloyster.
Oh, wasn't like an oyster. What was? The,
I think you got the oyster one already.
Cloyster. Is there a clam one?
Because Cloyster's the second stage. The first stage, I remember reading in the book.
Oh,
Shelder.
shell something.
Yeah, maybe
Shel
Sheldon
Silverstein.
or
That sounds
Shelder.
right to me, but of course I don't know how to spell
Because
it.
Slowpoke puts his tail in the river, and a Shelder I think bites
You're
on,
right,
and
it
then
is
evolves
Shelder.
to Slowbro.
It is
yeah.
Shelder.
Okay, good job, Kirklin.
Yeah.
Love the origin of that.
yeah, that
Okay,
old 151 handbook.
I'm going back to the poster. You missed one on this poster.
Oh, Goldeen, and then
Nice.
turns into Sea King, I think.
Sea
Got
King. Nice.
Yeah, those two. That's right.
I can't even picture that.
You guys are at 102. The timer says it's up in 2 minutes, but I didn't actually set it, so I don't know what that timer was. But I don't know, Taylor. You were very confident. You still got 50 to go. You still got a third to go.
Still got 50 to go. You got the Mew and the Mewtwo. What else is there? We got all the starters. We got a lot of the single.
Go by type. Think about some
ones.
types, maybe.
Yeah, types. Give me some ideas, Kirkland. If you jog my memory, I can hit them.
Let's go ground types. I mean the ground types that come to my mind.
Mankey, Primeape. Those
Oh.
are the fighting types.
There you go.
Great pull. Great pull.
There you go.
Um,
What about other bug Pokemon that we missed?
Ooh,
We fired off a lot of bugs earlier.
we got those two evolutionary lines. What other bug types are there?
Because Gen 1 didn't really have a lot of niche like types, right? Like it was pretty basic with like they didn't have fairy
Was.
type and stuff like that.
No, that came later.
Maybe other ghost types that we missed.
I don't.
Ooh. Ghost
Ah.
types.
I don't remember any other ghost types.
Yeah,
Aside
we got,
from
like, the main
Ghastly,
ones.
Gengar.
What about like other like big legendary types? I know we got the big legendary birds. We got Mew, Mewtwo.
I think I want to say, and those were the only ones. Oh, Dugong. That was Seal's evolutionary form.
Dugong.
Shit.
Dugong. Yeah, what a fucking
pull.
name, eh?
I can't believe you pulled that. That's impressive.
And of course,
Um,
I don't know clue how you spell that.
Yeah, we already got the horse ones,
Nice.
the Growlithe ones.
I forgot that Seal had an evolution there. It's a good pull on that.
Other like dog-like ones.
Yeah, the dogs came. and
Quadrupeds.
were left her after.
Sorry, going back, the eggs. Did you get the eggs?
Yeah. Execute and
yeah.
Executor.
Okay.
However you say that.
I feel like there's some flying types I'm missing.
You got the Pidgeys. We got the birds. We got
Now, if we're being
Sparrow
strict
and
to my-
Fearow.
Okay,
Those
nice.
two flying types.
If we're being, if
Mr.
you guys want to
Mime.
go to the end, I'm happy to let you guys go to the end. But your time, you got a few more minutes. You got 3 more
Few more
minutes.
Okay, let's see what we can get here. Mr. Mime.
Yep.
Oh,
So weird.
Jeez, a Jinx. What other water types could there be?
fire types. I feel like we might have been pretty shallow on fire types.
If you guys want some hints too, let me know.
Fire types.
Water types.
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think what other trainers had.
That's an
'cause,
interesting
like,
way to go about it.
I feel like we listed off most of what Misty had, but I remember a lot of the Gen 2, Gen 3 stuff popping in there.
Yeah.
Gosh,
Mhm.
dang it. Oh.
Did we get Butterfree?
Nidoran.
Did we say Butterfree
We
already?
did Butterfree.
Okay.
Yeah,
You got
Nidoran, Nidorino, Nido King,
Oh.
Nido Queen. Both
That's
genders.
a good. That's 6
'cause
in
there's
1. That's
two.
6
Yeah.
in 1.
Holy
That's
shit.
good
That's 6
shit.
in 1.
Good one,
Nice
Taylor.
work.
Uh,
Man, the fact that those are different, they really were trying to pad out that roster. I think. A little
Oh,
bit
yeah.
back in the
Oh
day.
yeah.
Okay, nice. That was really good.
So that's what are we at now? Like 108? Or no, Mr. Mime and stuff like 110.
I'm gonna be honest. The quiz ended, and I can't type them in anymore, so I'm just looking at this list now. So I think you're probably around 120, is what I'd guess.
120.
30 to go ish.
Sorry, no help, Taylor.
No. It's okay. You helped a lot. You said Onyx. That's good. We did the Hitmons. I don't think.
Did we
there's any
say Raticat and Ratatat and
You did.
Raticate and
You
other...
did
did not
now.
say it till now. Yeah. Good call.
Taylor, did that evolution ever get a third?
No, it got a region-based variant
interesting.
and evolution.
Okay.
Yeah, so different color scheme with bigger whiskers and stuff.
Classic. You guys are missing one of my favorite trios, a full evolutionary chain that I absolutely love.
A full evolutionary chain.
Ooh.
I think that's the only 3-chain one that you're missing, actually. Actually, there's 2 3-chains that you're missing.
2.
Yeah, two.
Man,
two
what
full 3 chains.
are we missing? Give me a hint.
Give me a type.
I'll give you. You guys are missing a few waters. I want to say
Interesting.
Two waters.
maybe a handful of
I
waters.
feel like I never rocked a water type as a main in any of my Pokemon playthroughs, so that's my downfall.
Waters, eh?
I'm gonna give you to 23 minutes on our StreamYard thing here, so you got 2 minutes to go, and then I'll start lobbing hints at you, and you can crush the rest of it.
We already said Lapras.
It's true, you did.
Yeah, we said Lapras. We said we did Dugongs. We did the Seadras. We did the Vaporeon. Oh my goodness!
It's tricky, eh?
Is there other Magikarp like fish like Pokemon, or that
Well,
comes
there
later,
was-
like
there was
Carvasaur or
the-
whatever the fuck it's called?
There was the Goldeen and then the
You got that.
Sea King one. Yeah, we got both those. So those are the only other 2 fish. You did Tentacruel. And there's still more, eh? Jeez Louise.
Yeah, there's to my quick count here 5 more waters, but that's 2 evolutionary chains. That's the thing with Pokemon. You get one in a chain, they go down like dominoes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Easy hunting.
Paul.
Oh,
I know Poliwhirl.
Oh,
Poliwrath.
nice.
But there's
that
one
was,
more.
That was the one that I love.
Poliwag.
Poliwag, Poliwhirl.
Poliwrath. Yeah.
Nice. I love that trio. Okay, you got
already
20
got, like, the
seconds. Then I'm
water.
lobbing hints.
Is
Is there like a water mouse type, or did we already say that? It's like a blue mouse looking thing.
That might have been Nidoran.
No, it's not Nidoran. Nidoran's like the grass type, isn't it?
The poison type, yeah. Magnemite.
Yep.
And Magneton.
Good one. Good one.
What the fuck is that? That shit. I'm
The
gonna have to Google that
magnets.
after.
You don't know the magnets?
Oh, those ones. That's funny. I thought it was a different name, so I thought we already said that one, even though I pictured it already.
All right, I'm gonna throw some hints, unless you want to keep digging here.
Throw some hints.
Okay, I'll give you some hint. Misty. Name Misty's iconic Pokemon.
She carries that shell thing.
That's
Where
a
was
Gen 2 though. The Togepi or whatever it is.
I'm pretty sure this
She
is
has
Star.
she has a Psyduck though.
Yeah, that's her first one.
And
for
then
sure.
Staryu.
Yeah, and I think she has a third, but maybe I'm wrong. Unless she only has, maybe I'm wrong here. I'm trying to think how I can give a hint without just giving it away. Okay, think of fire. Iconic fire one. Iconic fire type. Has 2 versions.
Oh, Rapidash
Yeah.
and
Does Misty not have this Pokemon?
the fire type.
Yeah, that horse.
She's a water based.
Why do I have an association with her and that horse? I don't know.
It's the
Anyway,
colors.
you're missing the first version of that.
You know this one, Kirklin.
Rapidash.
Rapidash is this follow up.
Pony.
That's the
Bonita?
evolution.
Yes,
Yeah,
there you go.
There you go.
I thought we already
Okay.
said those.
The slow poke evolution is slow bro.
Yeah.
So I don't blame you for not finding that one. Think
Oh no, we got
Did
that.
you
We
yeah,
got
you
that.
said that
you got
earlier.
slow poke and slow king. I don't think you
I,
ever
said
re-
Slowbro.
I redacted it and said Slowbro.
Okay, I missed that then. Nice.
You,
nice
you
work,
went through the
nice
lore
work.
of Slowbro.
Now
of the,
you
the
gave me
cloister.
Electabuzz. I forgot if you gave me like the other Electabuzzy kind of ones.
Like the
That-
other forms.
To me, when I think of Electabuzz, there's like a couple other Pokemon that like are in that same pocket with it.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I can
Like
sort of picture
Electivire and
Mm.
Elekid.
That sounds like a later gen. I don't know
They
what that
are.
nonsense is.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Okay, I was thinking Magmar. Magmar to me is like Electabuzz and Magmar are like a
Magma
duo.
Duck, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, how about this? How about some like let me see. It's hard to give a hint on these without just giving it away.
Oh, Venonat and then
Nice.
Venomoth.
Good
Those are two
stuff.
more.
Okay, the waters you're missing. I'm going to the beach with this one. It's not in the water. It's a beach.
Fucking waters.
It's a beach critter. There's two of them.
Oh, Kingler Krabby.
That is not. Why is that not on this list? Or is it just somewhere else?
The crabs. They're on the beach. They're on the sand.
Yes. Okay. There's actually
It's
another
forgotten.
one. Maybe it's actually a bug. I always thought it was like a.
Is it like the fossil one?
I think you got those. Okay. There's a couple like Australian kind of animals that we got going on here. Does that ring a bell?
Australian.
I don't know my Australian animals
Okay.
very
Just
well.
kangaroos.
Kangas
there-
gone. Yeah.
Kangaskhan. There you go.
Nicely done, Kirk.
What? Genghis Khan? Is that what you just said? That's a
Kangas.
Pokemon?
Kangaskhan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll give you a hint. Another freak, very similar to Abra and Kadabra and that whole chain. An absolute
freak.
Mr. Mime level freakness. Like, what were they doing with this design? Really creepy. Has a yo-yo or a something.
Is
Has a
that like Alakazam or Kadabra?
No, I'm thinking of Drowsy and Hypno.
Yeah.
Oh,
Beat me to it.
with
Yeah.
like the elephant nose.
Don't forget the two ostriches.
Oh, Doduo
Oh.
and
Yep.
Dodrio.
Yep.
Um,
There's a plant triage.
Bellsprout. The last one is Victory Bill, and what's the middle one? You can tell me. That's
Weeping Bell.
Weeping Bell. Yes.
That is an
There's-
awesome name. I love that.
One that
The
looks a
Weeping
lot
Bell.
like Slowpoke, but is not a Slowpoke or a Slowbro. But it's pink. It's got a big long tongue.
Oh, lick a tongue.
Yeah.
Like a tongue, nice. Another one of my favorites is go for it. Go for
I
it.
was gonna say Vulpix, Ninetales. Can't
Yep.
forget those.
Good pull, good pull. You're almost down to it. We just have one total freak show. And then yeah, you got Gyarados. I just didn't know how to spell it because I always forget there's a Y. Okay, you got one freak show, and then Pokemon has two versions, an evolution, and they're wielding a weapon. That's your hint. It's pretty rare for Pokemon to wield something. Also has a helmet. I think they both do, but I can't remember. It's not a traditional helmet. It's a biological helmet.
Oh, isn't that
Paras and Parasect.
Okay, I thought you got those ones already. I was not thinking of that.
Oh.
I can only picture like Cubone. But
You
we already
got
said
it,
that.
Cubone.
Oh,
Did
and
you say that?
Marowak.
Did we say Cubone already?
I
No,
don't think
I
you
don't
did.
think
Oh,
we
okay.
did.
But you
no.
Never
got it
mind
now.
then.
And the
Nice.
last one, I don't know how to give it for this. It's freaking Tangela. Okay, don't forget. You can't forget about Tangela.
Oh, right.
Mm.
Tangela, yes.
Total
yes.
freak show. Yeah, I think you guys did pretty good. You got to 100. About maybe even like 110 without hints. That's
Not too
really
bad.
good.
That's not too
pretty
bad.
damn good considering you didn't expect this was coming. So nice job. I'm proud. Taylor, did you wish you did better? You seem a little dejected.
No, I'm happy with that.
Okay,
If I was writing them down and like logging it, I think I might have like under the pressure pushed myself a little harder. I would
Okay.
have come out on top.
I brought
but
him down.
No, I came here to have fun, and Kirkland, I think we did good as a team. That was a lot of fun.
I'm
glad it was
impressed. I'm impressed. I would have
We'll
done
do-
much worse than you guys.
1v1 Gen 2 next time.
Yeah.
Kirkland.
Oh my god, I'd get like 5.
Only Gen 2, like no crossovers. Fuck that.
That would be crazy. Let's see what's up next here. You guys been playing anything? Taylor, you got any games you've been playing lately you want to shout out?
I really wish I could shout out something, but between my week off vacation and coming back, I have not played anything aside from just a little bit of Call of Duty, just to
Okay.
cap off the Squid Game pass that they had because I
Right.
want to get a few more unlocks in there. But that's
Okay.
basically it.
How about you, Kirkland?
I haven't been
Also
playing too
away
much.
on a holiday.
Yeah, I well, while I was away, Dylan, I jumped into some Plants vs Zombies again after our
Hell yeah.
zombies cast, and man, just good times.
Just on your
in there.
phone were you playing that? Or?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
cool.
on the old mobile version, but yeah, it's just hell of a good time. What else? I played a little bit of Warhammer just because I was getting hyped, talking to Hidalgo about it. We were gonna do a co-op campaign, and then it never actually happened. But that's life as an adult. It's hard to. I mean, took us a hard enough time to play Project Zomboid. Finally,
Which we
it's-
did, and yeah, I don't think I have anything to say here other than just like, as fun as Kirkland made it sound is true. I guess that's what I would say. But I'm not deep enough to have like a new, unique take. But it's really good.
Yeah, it was awesome there. And then the other thing to report on is I recently picked up through a Steam sale a brand new game. It's a game series. I've never heard of it before. And I just read the description of what the genre was, and I'm like, this sounds exactly like the type of game for me. And I jumped into Spellforce 3. Have you ever heard of this game?
I think I
It's-
have, but I need you to tell me about it.
It is. So I grew up playing RTS games, the likes of Age of Empires, Age of Mythology, Warcraft 3, and I love them all. I really liked Warcraft 3 for the the story that you go through, the characters that you have, but when you're playing just regular custom games, like you always had like a hero that had like abilities, so it made it a little bit different than like a classic historical RTS game, where you have like just a legendary type character, and this is very much the same. It feels like Warcraft 3, but not cartoony, like a more like realistic world, and like the graphics and everything are just phenomenal. I really like just like the design and art style of what this world is. It seems like it's going to be like 100-hour plus game, of just from what I've seen on like certain reviews. I'm only a couple hours in, but man, I just smiling ear to ear when I jumped into this game. Like it very much is Warcraft 3, but like just a
Nice.
different type of skin on it. I guess I'd say, like, obviously you have a lot more units to control. Like I think Warcraft 3 maxed out at like 20 or something, and it just felt a lot more cartoony because of just the color palettes and just the design of what that world is. But this is just so much darker, and yeah, like a lot more double down on the RPG elements to it. You actually like
Nice.
make your own character, so you can like change
Oh,
their class, whether
cool.
it's like a paladin, battle mage, a mage, or like a just different types of class, and spec them out. It's funny because it reminds me of the likes of like a Diablo 3 or Diablo 2, even like the way that you like build up your characters. You don't just control your character as well, like you meet other characters on your roster and then you're leveling up them. So a little bit of like Baldur's Gate 3 hints, just in the sense of like you're building up your class. So you have like your main legendary characters that you're leveling up, and then of course you can level up like infantrymen, and everything else, like everything else that what an RTS would be. You level up your base and everything like that. It's phenomenal. I'm only a couple hours in, and I still feel like I've like barely scratched the surface. It's definitely one that I'm gonna be just sinking a lot of hours in. I got the bundle I got on Steam. It came with like the base game, and then it's called Spellforce 3 Fallen God and Spellforce 3 Soul Harvest. So those are kind of like
Classic.
the 0.5 games. It's like a standalone DLC, I guess I'll call it. So a little bit of just a different campaign, I guess, once you finish the main campaign. But
But they're not all in one bundle. Like you launch them separately, or
yeah, you launch them separately,
Okay.
which is kind of different from what I've seen. I think I can maybe launch them in the game, but like I had to install them separately. A little bit different than how normal DLC is, but yeah, no, it's I just randomly saw it on Steam, and I'm like, man, this looks like a complete hidden thing from me, because I feel like, because I love this genre of games, the combination of an RTS and an RPG. How have I not like heard of this series? They've been around for a long time. Like Spellforce 3, I think it came out in like 2017 or something. Like even the latest game isn't that new. So yeah, definitely just a franchise I'm interested in. Hopefully I just lose hundreds of hours into these games and get excited for the next one. But highly recommend it for anyone that's like I said, like interested in RTS, RPG, whether you played some Diablo or yeah, Baldur's Gate for sure. There's some similarities. Not
Right.
quite like dialogue heavy and cinematic as Baldur's Gate is, but yeah, it's really really awesome and really deep lore. Like just a lot of world building, like right at the get go of just how this world's working with like these mages that are going against the crown, and it's just
Mhm.
it feels like you're jumping into like a Lord of the Rings for the first time,
That's
right?
the
Or
aesthetic I was getting from like looking
yeah,
at the pictures. Feels very Lord of the Rings coded for sure.
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, definitely recommend. And I saw it even has like co-op campaigns. I don't know how
Cool.
that would work because it like you're like you're building your city up and everything. But yeah, just something to something to look into, I guess.
Yeah, I mean to me it's like a big even bigger compliment coming from you just cuz I feel like if you're in that kind of vibe, you've just been going to Warhammer for years. So it's interesting
Yeah,
that like for some reason
exactly.
you wanted to try out something new and I mean you're still early on, but like I'm curious to see if like a month from now if you're still into this game because
Yeah,
yeah, I think it's pretty powerful that someone was able to, get you away from Warhammer in that kind of similar it sounds like a little bit different genre-wise in
yeah,
terms of some of the setup of it, but that's cool. I love the aesthetic of it, so I'll
totally.
check that one out. I was craving an RTS recently.
Oh yeah,
I was thinking of doing it, and then I was like, yeah, Civ's coming out soon, which is not an RTS, but I'm like, I don't know, maybe that'll scratch that itch, but yeah, I feel like that's a genre that has been kind of a blind spot for me. Just played a few of them, but never really got too deep into them other than like StarCraft 2
yeah.
back in the day, so yeah.
The other sale that I saw was it's like a Tiberian Sun like
Oh,
collection, and man, I went
nice.
so hard on those games back in the day.
Yeah, I
I
remember
came so
that.
close to to clicking on it, but yeah, chose Spellforce instead.
Tiberian Sun, man, that's a great video game title. We forgot about that title when we
Yeah.
did our best video game title
Oh yeah,
episode.
and like the Red Alert games as well
Yeah,
from the same developer, just
yeah,
fantastic.
good stuff. Yeah, for me, not a whole lot. Really, just been playing a lot of the same things. So I'll report back on those when I rolled credits on those games. But I think the only quick highlight is that I over the weekend I went to an arcade with some friends. It's actually a barcade, so it's kind of a fun vibe there. To be honest, the highlight of the night was definitely just pool, just regular non-video game pool.
Hell yeah,
I love pool, but yeah, I played like a Marvel fighting game that I think is newer. I've never seen it before. It's kind of janky and weird. Like you don't really like rather than like walking back or forth, like if you move the control stick, like you just like teleport towards the opponent and then can start like mashing the attack button.
Hmm.
It was kind of strange, but it's cool when you like finish the match, it like spits out a card at you and you can like collect different cards and then like that's how you pick different characters is by collecting these cards and like scanning them into the game. So I got Korg, but I did not play a
nice.
second match to try him out. But it was kind of a janky game. But then the highlight was actually the Walking Dead arcade game, which I don't know if there's one of those at Scandia. I don't know if you guys have played that. It's a classic like on rails shooter where you're being guided through the level and you got to just shoot the things. You have like crossbows, so you're constantly like pulling the thing back to reload it and just like spamming. And then eventually you get like melee weapons, which you're still using with your like crossbow, of course, because there's only one thing in the cabinet. But it was quite fun. Me and my friend like played through it and kept putting more coins into it, so to speak, to keep going through it. It was a really fun time. So obviously, once again, I'm still hot off that zombie episode we did Kirklin. I
Yeah,
watched like Army of the Dead again, and then was playing that. So yeah, I think that's the only thing I wanted to shout out there. But yeah, there's not a lot at that arcade. There was unfortunately because we had a group of 4. We wanted to play the Halo arcade game,
Hmm.
which I think is at Scandia too, right?
Yeah, I think so.
But it was like out of service, so we couldn't play that
Mm.
unfortunately. So had to play The Walking Dead instead, but it was still a good
Yeah.
time. All right, I think that's everything for games we've been playing. Then let's take our first break of the show. We'll be right back to talk about the Xbox Developer Direct. Okay, we are back. Xbox Developer Direct was last week. Kirkland, have you ever watched one of these before, like start to finish?
I want to say like yes, just because it felt so familiar, but it also just
Okay.
seems like something else I've seen, whether it's a different game showcase or an E3 of the past, something like that.
Okay.
So I don't know for sure, but
Yeah.
it didn't seem like anything I haven't seen before, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I forget if this is the third or fourth year, Taylor, if you know off the top of your head, third or fourth year in a row, maybe the third year in the row that
I
they've been
want to say
doing
it's
this.
the third.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Where they just pick a handful of games, 4 to 5 games usually, and really go in depth on those, and really let the developers speak, and you get like footage of like the studio and walking around. You get to meet some of the people, so to speak, and they talk through the game in a much more in-depth way than you normally get at a showcase. I really love this format. I think it's really great. It really highlights the developers, which I mean, Xbox highlights these developers, and they did that for Arcane, and then they shut them down. So like they don't care about these people, obviously. But at least for me, I really like to see these people, see what they're working on, and hear from their perspective and why they're so passionate about the games that they're making. So it's a format that I really enjoy, and I think this was another good showcase here of some cool games, and it had even a couple surprises in there. So jumping into those surprises, the very first thing was not announced prior to. Normally they announce the full lineup minus one game, and so the surprise here was Ninja Gaiden 4 is coming out. It's been a while since the series has been around, but yeah, they're releasing the fourth game this fall. Is this a series that you guys have played at all? For me, it's literally just like at a friend's house. I've messed around with it once or twice, or like maybe rented it or something. But it's a series I'm really unfamiliar with. So how about you guys?
I feel like for me, this series, and there's been a couple series like this, but it's just been like my Moby Dick, where like I always was interested in it as a kid, and I'm like, man, I really want to play this specific game, and I just never got around to it. And to this day, no, I've never plugged in Ninja Gaiden. I feel like I haven't even actually seen gameplay until I watched this. So
Right.
I don't know if this is really different from the previous titles. I imagine it's pretty similar, at least
I
like
think so.
the core
Yeah.
gameplay mechanics. But yeah, I always loved the name. I always thought it looked so cool from what I've seen, and I don't know, just different screenshots and magazines, the old Xbox magazines in the local library. But
Yeah.
no, never got the chance. And I like this. I thought it looked cool.
Hell yeah. Yeah. How about you, Taylor? Is this a series you've played at all?
I remember back in the day with my original Xbox having the first Ninja Gaiden and
Nice.
playing it a fair bit, but that's really where my time with it started and ended. It was just with the first one. I mean, that first
Yeah.
one came out back in like 2004, and so I would have been playing it much later, like 2009, 2008 kind of period. All I remember is that from what I'd seen from this fourth one, it seems like, okay, we've really changed sceneries and we're no longer in where that first game takes place. That first one felt like it was more like out in the wilds. Like I remember climbing through like rock faces and stuff like that, villages, stuff like that.
Okay.
And now here where I'm seeing like neon street lights, everything, it's like,
yeah.
okay, we've really upgraded.
Neo Tokyo vibe for sure.
Yeah,
Nice.
so it's
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah, well, Taylor, this is going to be coming to Game Pass day one. Do you think you're going to check this out?
I think I would actually, because I'm not even sure if the other Ninja Gaidens have dropped on Games Pass. I think they have.
I think
at
they
least
are
the
on
first
there,
one.
actually.
Yeah,
Or
and
one of them at least.
In the back of my mind, I see them on there. I think, man, I would like to just download it and play it. And then COD has an update, but no, I think this is something that I actually very much will install and dabble with, because it just looks like it's a fun series. There was another, it was similar to Ninja Gaiden. What was it? Ooh, bear with me here while I figure it out. Ninja Blade. Man, I got that on
Ninja
360
Blade.
and played the living daylights out of it. My friend, he had it, and I fell in love with it at playing at his house, so that I got it. Man, this game was crazy. Getting like the combos and just going to town fighting these monsters and like the cityscape. It was such an
Man.
awesome game.
I don't think I've ever heard of Ninja Blade before.
Oh,
That's hilarious.
so good. That's one I definitely want to play again for sure.
Apparently, it's no longer available in the Steam store. Must not. I wonder why. That's actually really strange. It has a Steam page, but you can't purchase it, so that's kind of
See if I
odd.
can
Man.
find it on Xbox.
You just reminded me of a game that fucking slaps. It's called iNinja on the GameCube.
Oh yeah, I think I have it still.
Dude, I played the shit out of iNinja. I swear,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
there was no trophies or anything on GameCube, but if there was, I would have platinumed it. Because I got, like, every unlock in that, and I thought that game was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, so good. Shouts out to iNinja.
I think I only know that game because one of you two mentioned it at some point in the last few years. And like, I don't remember the context, but I think it came
Oh,
up before.
man. That's like, if I see that in like a thrift shop, I'm buying that. I need to get some iNinja action.
I love the art style. Yeah, it's a great art style. Yeah, so this is Ninja Gaiden 4. So this is from Team Ninja and Platinum, kind of a co-developed game there. So Team Ninja are the developers of the Neo games. They also did Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which we all love. And then Platinum, most best known for doing the Bayonetta games. So obviously this is a great development duo here to work on some of this stuff. Because I think Platinum's even involved with like Nier and maybe even Stellar Brit. Like I think they're just like always in that pocket in terms of the character action games. Like yeah, Bayonetta, Devil May Cry. It feels like Ninja Gaiden is kind of right in that pocket, that sort of genre. And so it seems like this is a great kind of dream team to make this sort of thing. And yeah, I think this looks fantastic. And like I've said, it's like it's not my space. It's not really a genre I'm comfortable with or one that I go to very often. But because of the easy access via Game Pass, it's definitely going to be one that I'm going to jump in and check out. I mean, the visuals are outstanding. Even just like when Ryu is standing there and like the rain is like dripping down his biceps, it like looks so good. And the cities and the enemies all look fantastic. And like just the combat seems so visceral. There's so much like just effects and blood and all sorts of stuff popping off as you're going through these enemies. So yeah, I think this game looks awesome, and it was kind of weird / cool to see that even in this Xbox Developer Direct, like they announced, yeah, this game's coming to PS5 as well. So obviously there's a big multi-platform situation, and this isn't like a first-party studio by any means. But yeah, it's cool that they have that confirmed in there too. So Kirklin, this is coming right to the console that you play the most. Do you see yourself jumping into this? Do you have any curiosity there?
I'm definitely
Especially
curious.
after Stellar Blade. I feel like
Yeah, the
this
combat
feels
looks
like right in that pocket for you.
totally. It's totally just the type of game that gets its little hooks on me. But I don't know. I'm gonna be a little bit just hesitant before I fully commit
That's
and
fair.
jump into that one. But I mean, if reviews are good and just word of mouth is really positive, who knows? I jumped on a Stellar Blade instantly, so with
it's
no
on
planning
that-
whatsoever.
Yeah, that demo thing with PlayStation. Something
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah, so it seems I don't know in terms of selling points for like what's new about the series. I think it's really just like, hey, this is a current gen, strong ass version. You know, can do more things visually and all that. And then a big thing they were selling is that you're playing as a new character here, and then Ryu Hayabusa, who's like the main protagonist of the series. He's in the game. I don't know if you play as him at certain points, but you at least face off against him. I'm guessing it's going to be like a Batman versus Superman situation where they come together to fight the same cause. So yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a big selling point for any of us who aren't super deep into the series, but that's cool. A new character that they're popping up there. And yeah, along with that, they announced that, and this was the out today. It seems like they like to have these at their Xbox Developer Direct. They did that too with Hi-Fi Rush, right? Is the out today game. So Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is out now. Came out last week at the same time as the Direct, of course. So that is a remake of the 360 game from 2008. And yeah, it seems like it's just like up-res to the same engine. It's in Unreal Engine 5. Looks beautiful. Looks great on Game Pass, of course. So I'm currently not subscribed to Game Pass, but next time, or I'm going to be back on it soon when Avowed comes out. So I'm definitely going to give this a download and try it out then. Because I think from what I've heard, like Ninja Gaiden 2 is kind of considered the best one in the series. So that sounds awesome. That seems like a good pick that they went ahead and... I don't know if you want to call it a remake or a remaster. It seems kind of in between the two. But it seems really, really well made. And I think it's like a perfect little... Not even that it's an appetizer, it's a full game, but like a little appetizer before like the new game comes out later this year. I think it's a great idea to get people wet the palate, get people hyped on Ninja Gaiden, and then hit them with like the new one later this year. So excited to see that roll out. Do you guys see yourself? You have more or less interest in Gaiden 2, or is it kind of similar levels of interest?
I almost want to say more, just because, as you mentioned, anytime that like someone's really brought up Ninja Gaiden, it's been Ninja Gaiden 2, just in my experiences. So that's been like the one shout out, and knowing that it's got like the little remaster re-release thing definitely has me intrigued, but not really making me rush to the store.
The storefront? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm definitely intrigued. I did not realize that they did that, so that has me pretty excited.
Yeah. It's a download, man. It's a download away for you, so that's easy. All right, moving on then. Next up is South of Midnight, which now officially has a release date of April 8th. This is from Compulsion Games, who made We Happy Few most recently. So this game has definitely been in the oven for a while, because I think We Happy Few came out in like 2018 or something, right? Like, I don't know if they've been working on it as long as that, but that's pretty long development time. For anyone who forgets, this is kind of a third-person action-adventure game, dark fantasy setting, kind of southern gothic vibes, with the kind of intentionally lesser frame rate on like certain character movements, like even your walk animation and like enemies, which gives it kind of a just all those things mixed together creates this like totally new aesthetic that I've never seen before. I think that's my favorite part about this game is just how it looks and feels, and even the music. They have like music with vocals like popping off during the boss fights that they say is kind of like swelling up as the boss fights are going on, which like all of that sounds so cool. I think for me, like I don't love the look of the gameplay, like combat itself. It looks totally fine, but it's just not really the kind of combat systems I'm normally super into. But I think I'm still gonna pick up this game and play it just to walk around the world, just to explore, and maybe I'll get involved in the gameplay, into the combat too. But I think the world that they've set up here, and the story and the characters are just super duper compelling. I think this game is just so unique and interesting, and I hope it really takes off because it looks super super cool.
Yeah, this one reminded me a lot of Kenna and the Bridge of Spirits.
Definitely in terms of like bringing peace back to the land.
Totally.
Right?
Gameplay, like the way that you navigate the world, and just the unique world building as well. Like it's very different than what that story is, but still same feel overall. So, and I love that game. Shay and I both individually played through that, and yeah, we both really enjoyed it. That one was like more appealing to me, just story wise and the world setup, than what this one was. But I don't know. I had a lot of fun just navigating that world. So if I actually like jump in there, I'm sure I would have a fun time with it. But just because I think of what the story is, it didn't have me the most intrigued and race into the storefront.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty like in-depth story. Like there's definitely a lot of emotion invested in here, and it's something that I would like to take a crack at. I like how it's kind of diving into this folklore and whatnot. It's kind of, there's a little bit of a enticingness there for me, but yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be put at the forefront. I'd probably get around to Ninja Gaiden first before I get to this.
Yeah, no, I think that element angle of it with the folklore, you're talking about how like there's this grand tapestry and you're kind of weaving the two worlds together, like the mythical world with like reality. And I think that sounds really interesting, the way they can jump back and forth between that. And it sounds like that's something that only your character and maybe select other few characters have the ability to connect with. And so that's maybe how it justifies like how these enemies maybe only exist in that other realm that only you can see. I'm curious how that's going to work with like other characters in the world. But I don't know. That seems like a really interesting idea. And then obviously what you were saying, Kirklin, of kind of, reconnecting things and bringing things back to their rightful places. But I also think too, like, I just love that this game just looks like a linear single player adventure that's probably like 10 to 15 hours. Like it's not too long. It doesn't have this like some massive open world to it. It seems like you're kind of just being put through this story in a linear way, and I think that's kind of exactly what I'd want from a game like this, to not go on too long. And yeah, it doesn't seem like there's too much extra. It doesn't seem like there's any like fat on it. It seems like it's just a nice clean and lean sort of game. So hopefully I connect with the combat, because I think that's the only thing that like seems kind of meh. But otherwise, I don't know. I'm very very excited for this one. It's coming out pretty soon, so that's pretty exciting.
Cool monster types as well. I like the designs
definitely.
of the threats.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the boss fights, I don't know, I love the designs of the bosses in particular, because the regular enemies, we've seen some of these guys kind of before, just like black gooey monsters with like a red light in the middle. But like, some of the bosses look really great. So yeah, that's South of Midnight. It's coming out April 8th. Game Pass, of course. And next up is a game called Claire Obscure Expedition 33. I should have shouted this out earlier, but on this month's episode of After 9, we kind of talked about a few of these games in there. So if you want a little bonus on this, or if you want to talk to us about these things, join the next After 9. But yeah, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is coming out April 24th, so just a couple weeks there after South of Midnight. It's from Sandfall Interactive, which is a new studio. Where do I start with this game? So this game looks insane. It looks like it cannot be real. It looks like it could not be created by humans. It's just so insanely impressive. And the fact that it's like a small team and their first game. I'm not skeptical, but I'm like, I don't know. Can it be this good? We'll have to wait and see. The hook, I think the hook of this is fantastic. The hook of it is that you're in this world. The setting is kind of like late 19th century France, but mixed with fantasy. Like at one point, there's like the Eiffel Tower, where the Eiffel Tower is like glitched and like fallen and slopped over and looks like biological to some extent. So you get that sort of setting. And then the premise of it is that in this world 60 something years ago, this giant monolith and a paintress, like a god demon, appeared in the sky and just started writing numbers on this monolith. And anyone who's above the age of that number just dies instantly. And then every year that painter comes back and knocks that number down by 1 year and just keeps going. And that's what leads us to where the story is now. When we pick it up with 33 is the most recent number, I guess, that has been written on this thing. And so obviously the world is all about sending these expeditions to go take this beast god demon thing down so that people stop dying. But then I think it seems like it's also just hugely about like the philosophy of life and how people in like a world would deal with what that means. And obviously that would mean that anyone's like, you can't have like older parents. I mean, like early 30s is like pretty young for anyone to pass away. So I think it's going to make for a really interesting setting. I love the concept there, and I love almost everything about this trailer. It looks too good to be true. That's where I'm at with this game. But I am very, very excited for this. I think it looks amazing.
Yeah, this does look almost too good to be true. It's funny every time I see these. It's just a JRPG. That's like the main genre of this. Every time I see these, I swear.
I guess it's just an RPG because it's a French studio, so
it's an FRPG.
It's an FRPG.
Every time I see these types of games, I feel like I have to like almost half pay attention because I'm like, I know I'm not gonna get this. I know I'm not ready to like get like a 150-hour time sink game of like a genre that I don't normally play. There's so many phenomenal types of these games out there, whether it's the Final Fantasies, what's the like ReFantazio?
Yeah, I was getting big Persona vibes from this game for sure.
Yeah, so like I don't know why these games are always just so phenomenal in people's eyes. I guess it's just the way that they're able to tell these really long stories with the type of gameplay and just managing your party. Because like graphics wise, yes, this looks very different than those games, but like what the game is very similar across the board. Even in the video, the developer says like he was obviously inspired by all those games that he loved playing back in the day. I imagine it would have been like the Final Fantasy VIIs, like the OG ones back in the day. This looks absolutely incredible. I probably won't get it just because like I still want to beat Final Fantasy 15. I put like 20 hours into that game and I was loving it, but for whatever reason just put it down. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna hold off on this one. There's a lot of these types of games on my list, but this does look incredible, and I really do hope it's as amazing as everyone thought as everyone is hoping it's gonna be, and how good it looks, right? Like it looks phenomenal. I'm still reminded of the first time I ever saw that Forspoken game, and I thought that was too good to be true, and I guess it was. I just saw it came to PlayStation Plus.
It's on Plus. Yeah, I want to hear you talk about that one. I've scrolled past it a few times. And I'm like, should I give it a download? I'm busy.
Yeah.
Busy tonight.
I'm looking at those 2.5 stars that it's rated at. I'm like, oh.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Taylor, I don't look at this and think, oh, that's a Taylor game. So I'm curious what you thought about this and if like the hook or anything else about it grabbed you. The fact that it's a Game Pass game, I'm sure will help you ease into it if you want to.
I look at this and I don't see it's much of a Taylor game either. But that being said, like it does look fun, and it's something that I could definitely dip my toes into and try. But I've never been really pulled to those games like the Persona or this. This one gave me big vibes of like Nier Automata. Is that it?
Automato.
Yeah.
Tomato. Ruben loves these games. Oh my goodness. And I would not be surprised if he's ready for this.
He's frothing for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some other interesting things about it? I mean, one, the UI is super duper stylish. To me, that was like the biggest Persona influence point there, and just like how the menus, rather than it being like a boring rectangular menu in the bottom left of your screen, it's kind of like weaved into like it's right next to your characters, and you're like when you're selecting your options, super stylish. The music was fantastic in this. It's like jazzy, like saxophones and violins going off, which is just fantastic. Like it really adds to the vibe of like the France, the 19th century sort of era vibes to it. I think like there's a lot they said about character customization, RPG factors, skill trees, all that kind of stuff. And every game kind of has that sort of things. Even South of Midnight, we didn't talk about it. Of course, there's skill trees and all sorts of selectable things you can get in there. I think one of the coolest parts about this, though, for me was talking about how like all the characters they have some unique mechanic to them, of course, and that's going to be the hook for why you'd want to pick that character over another. And then obviously they have all sorts of skill trees on top of that. But one thing I really like, and that's where you'd only get this kind of level of granular detail in like these developer directs, is one guy was talking about a character, how he kind of plays it as like a support healer type character, but everyone else on the team has been playing her like a glass cannon type character, just because of like how you can build and use certain skills in different ways. I think that's like a really cool thing. All these characters can seemingly fit hybrid roles or niche roles, or like just depending on how you're rocking your team, you could switch it up. And then they had like the kind of looks like a monkey type character. I don't even know what they called him. It was like a certain race of creature. It looked kind of like a monkey with like a weird plank thing on his face, and he can like transform into any enemies you've killed or something like that. Probably any non-boss enemies, and you can use that enemy in battle, which is super cool. Like there's something kind of like that in Octopath Traveler. One of the hunter characters can like recruit units and use them in battle, and I just think that sounds super duper fun, and I'm excited to get into this. Like the skill trees looked overwhelming. The amount of things you can select, the pegs and different drop downs and all that is insane. But I'm sure they'll dole it out in like a respectable way, so you're not just too overwhelmed right at the get go. But I just think this game looks unreal, and even like the combat, like I think it's turn based. There's like a real time element to it. I don't know if it's more like almost like a Mario RPG thing where like let's say you pick an attack and then you hit A at the right time, you can do a bonus damage, almost like Sea of Stars has that, Chrono Trigger has stuff like that, right? So mostly turn based, but then it has like a little bit of real time elements. But I think the camera is something that really stood out to me too. Like the way the camera's like following the battle and highlighting the hits that you're doing, it just makes it feel like much more lively and much more engaging and intense than like a regular turn-based battle, which can sometimes be very slow-paced, and just kind of take the momentum out of it. So that's cool. Let's see, what else did I want? I think the last thing I want to mention here is they mentioned another character who looks kind of like a Big Hero 6 type. He's like a big floaty kind of guy. And he is, I guess you ride him around like the overworld, like the world map to some extent, and that's how you get from place to place. The reason why that stood out to me, one, it's super cute. It's almost like diorama, like he's kind of a cute character. But that stood out to me because like I'm, as I said, skeptical of this game. How is this possible for a small team to do this? And I think how a small team is able to do this is it isn't one huge, massive open world where there's like every leaf is like a huge detail. You can go up and pick up every leaf. Instead, it's like smaller zones that you're going to be in, little combat arenas, towns, that kind of thing. And then to go between those, you're going in this like kind of zoomed out world map, but you're not going to have like every single step is with your character. You're going to kind of traverse those larger parts of land that kind of have less detail. It's more just a little bit of a travel sequence through this guy. So to me, that helps kind of make me feel like this game is potentially actually real and is as good as it says it is. So I can't say enough good things about it. I think this game looks amazing. I can't wait for this. This is probably one of my top hyped games of the year now for sure.
I think I was surprised at just how much they actually had to show. I thought like the initial just gameplay, but then as you were mentioning, like they showed some of the skill tree stuff and just the character customization, and that's where it felt more legitimate as opposed to just some nice shiny coat of paint on, because it looks phenomenally beautiful. Like it looks so gorgeous, especially when I'm normally seeing these games. They have a more anime, like cartoony aesthetic to them, so which are beautiful in their own right for sure. But this is just something. It's like me going from Warcraft 3 to Spellforce. Like it's just a different coat of paint that makes it just feel so much more next generation.
Yeah, definitely. So looking forward to that one. Once again, late April for that. And how about we take our last break of the show? We have one more game from the Direct and a couple other small pieces of news. We will be right back. Okay, we are back. The last game in the showcase was Doom: The Dark Ages, which is coming out on May 15th on everything, pretty much, including PlayStation date. So that's cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that, Kirklin?
Man, I feel like I was saying with Expedition 33, like these types of games, I'm like, I know, like, it looks amazing, but I'm just not gonna get it. And I kind of had this in the back of my mind with Doom because, Dylan, you and I were talking about Doom not too long ago on a previous side quest. But I'm just like, yeah, I feel like I will get into them at some point, but I'm not really in a rush. Especially that it's like an Xbox title. I just kind of assumed Doom Dark Ages was gonna only be, or maybe at least like an Indiana Jones release thing where I have to wait a little
Right.
bit of time for the next Doom. Especially like I haven't even really played Doom 2016 or Doom Eternal. And man, this just like this was such a like an ideal selling pitch from these developers to me, the consumer, for this, because I just felt like, yeah, this looks amazing, but I'm just not ready to jump into it. But they just gave me like every reason why I should be getting this. I really did not expect it to be on PlayStation until the very end, and I was just eyes locked on screen for this entire reveal trailer. I loved all of the gameplay, everything about it, whether it's like the accessibility options where you can like slow down or speed
So
up the
cool. I
game.
love that.
Just like it just seems like a perfect Doom like title. They're going back to the original, but also making it very new and unique, very simplistic. Like they're double downing on like you can do so much with just 2 input presses, and that's not even including the
Yeah.
trigger.
They talked about that so much.
Yeah.
It's all on one button. Yeah.
Because they know that these people that love these games, it's they know what they're getting. It's simple,
Yeah.
and you get in there and you just have tons of fun, and that's what this looks like. It looks like fun, which is capital FUN. It looks so good. I've only heard positive things from 2016 and Doom Eternal, but this just looks very different, but just amazing and really like the best type. Like I was just frothing at the mouth, and then they show up like the giant mech like thing combat, and then there's like you're riding a dragon, and they said
Oh,
all that
yeah.
within like 10 seconds, and I'm like, slow down here. Like I'm still piloting the fact that you have like a shield in here. That's amazing with the parry system.
Yeah.
Yeah, that to me this was like a 11 out of 10 reveal for me. It went from me
Nice.
I'm definitely not getting this for years to I think I'm gonna get it day one now. I am so
Sweet.
locked in on this reveal. It looks amazing, and it's a prequel too, so this might be a perfect time for me. Like they even said, like for new players to the series, this is gonna end basically right at the start of Doom 2016, and I'm like, fuck, I already have those other titles on PlayStation catalog, so like, I'm gonna have to get this game. It looks amazing, and yeah, really impressed, really impressed by this.
Yeah, I think this looks fantastic too, and I think for me, I mean, it was on Game Pass, so I was gonna play it anyway. But I think to me, the biggest selling point was, I played Doom 2016, love that game, it's fantastic. Still haven't played Eternal. I think the biggest reason I haven't is because my computer can definitely not run Eternal, and to me, Doom is like that is a PC ass game. You need a mouse and keyboard to like the reaction time, flipping around these arena fights, and it's like an overwhelming thing. Like I don't want to play it on my Xbox. I'm sure it would look beautiful, but I need to play this with mouse and keyboard. And that's what I love kind of about the pitch here is I feel like they toned everything down to be like a console game. One, in terms of slowing down the gameplay, it not being as much like Twitch reaction, flicking 180, all these kinds of things, kind of being more grounded focused. But then exactly what you're saying, Kirkland, even like simplifying the buttons and just making it like feel really good on a controller. Obviously 2016 and Eternal were both on consoles and you can play them with controllers always, but I think seems like they've taken, I don't even know if that was a criticism that other people had. That's always just how I've wanted to engage with these games because of how reactiony they are. But I think that's a really a pretty good twist, or at least a good way to sell what is otherwise kind of a weird twist of like they start out and they're like, yeah, Doom 2016, you were running and gunning. In Eternal, you were jumping and shooting or whatever you said. And in this one, you're standing and fighting, which is kind of like, okay, that sounds like a bit of a downgrade. But I think the way they sell it, you're right. The way they talk about it and explain how just that works, I think to me it's really going to work. And to me it's like it's something cool and different. If you want Doom, 2016 and Eternal are still there and they're super replayable games. Go back and do those. But this is like going to be something new and different on top of it just being like a crazy new setting. So I agree with you. I think this was a really great pitch. Really made me understand the game a bit more, because I think prior to this I was like, okay, it's just more Doom, but like a medieval setting. But now I understand that it's like kind of a from the ground up, like redesign of like what Doom can be. And I think that's really cool. How about you, Taylor? Are you interested in this one?
I'm very interested in this. Again,
Nice.
I've not played any of the other Doom titles. I feel like I was busy with Gears of War at the time because I feel like they kind of they feel similar in their own way. Obviously, first, third person, that's different, but they had a very similar aesthetic.
It's
And
the
so
chainsaws. It's the chainsaws.
yeah,
What it is.
yeah. So
Oh, now you got a
Gears was,
chainsaw. You got a chainsaw shield, so you're good to go.
that's right. After seeing this reveal and everything they were kind of like highlighting and whatnot, like I feel ever more so like excited to play this, especially because it is, like you guys already talked about, it's a prequel. So I think that uh, I really, really, really want to play this. I really, really do. And if it's everything that I'm thinking it's going to be, then I'll see, because I don't know if those other ones are on Games Pass, but I did see that
They are, yeah.
Doom. They are okay. If
I
not,
think
I saw
even
Doom,
the old ones are on there too. Actually, like the originals.
Doom 3 I saw was on there. And yeah, I think some of the old ones as well. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Other than that, like my only affiliation with Doom is really the movie with Carl Urban and The Rock. So I don't know if they're in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
And
don't think they are.
I didn't see them, but maybe they're hiding somewhere. With Doom, I think one of the fun parts is always like the weapons, which they can take something like as boring as a shotgun and make it like really interesting and fun and weird. And I think the highlight here of melee weapons seems like a really fun twist. We obviously talked about the shield, which is like kind of like the classic multi-tool. You can like use it as a weapon. You can use it to obviously block and parry, but you can also throw it like Captain America and it will like chop through enemies, which looks great. And to Kirklin's point, like the one button stuff, like they said, like the melee is kind of all in one button and it's contextual, so we'll see how that works. But on top of the shield, I guess you also have a flail, which is maybe more a mid-range thing. You have your electric gauntlets, which is more like the close-up melee, and then the mace. I guess it's a bit of an in-between. I don't know how that's all going to work. And then they said you can like level up all those things individually and spec them out in different ways. So that's really cool. To me, the absolute highlight weapon-wise was this gun that has like a conveyor belt pushing skulls into like a wood chipper that chops up the skulls into little bits, and then you shoot the bits of skull at enemy. Like, hell fucking yeah, that is the stupidest and most Doom, most awesome, stupid, fun, campy, ridiculous thing ever. I absolutely love it. I feel like that's gonna be my main ranged weapon in this game. I'm just like gonna die constantly because I'm gonna be looking at the gun and not looking at like what's actually in front of me, the enemies. So absolutely love that. The other guns look, there's like a laser sniper, cool. But that one was like, hell yeah, that is the coolest design I've ever seen. So the weapons look great. And then yeah, I'm curious what you guys think about this. So one of the things they mentioned here is that this game is going to be a lot more open world sandbox as far as Doom goes. So it seems going to be like a drop in a huge war zone area. And you can go around, you can go explore, find caves and dungeons, go through the main battle areas up to fight a boss at the end of the level, which is very different. Like the games have always been prior to this, even the original ones have been very arena shooter, like very Quake, right, in that way, where you go into a room, it's a big, like very design, it's like a Halo level or something, right, in terms of size and the design and all the specific angles and ledges and all that. And you're just like stuck in there for 10 minutes fighting a bunch of waves of enemies. And so this seems like a huge pivot. And it also seems like a weird pivot considering that the game seems less movement focused than it's always been. Now it's like more grounded. You can probably still jump, but you're not like doing all this crazy stuff. So that almost seems like two opposite things to each other, considering there's no like mount or anything. Like obviously there's the mech and the dragon, but those seems like for separate levels. So I don't know. Is that like an appealing thing for you guys, or would you more prefer the more like arena based classic stuff?
I think just the evolution of what the series is. I'm glad that they're doing this. I'm glad it's not just the same thing. But that being said, like clearly they're successful by doing it the other way. So, yeah, I don't know. I think this is also the best time to maybe do this switch up with this being a very different Doom setting. Even the originals have always kind of felt the same of what the Doom 2016 or
Yeah.
I mean, I never played Eternal, but I'm assuming it's very much that same hellscape where this one is I think they say it's like a sci-fi medieval, which is just a funny mix-up of genres, but that's kind of what it is. So, yeah, I think I just don't feel strongly one way or the other. I think that it's also just
I'm
more
definitely
modern,
willing to give it a shot. I'm just curious to see like how open are we talking here? Because if it's just like a couple corridors off the side, then that's totally fair game and seems fitting. But yeah,
I also like 100% trust these guys to make the exploration entertaining and not just feel sluggish where it just takes you forever to get around.
Mm-hmm.
Although they didn't really highlight any mounts or something, I'm sure there's some ways to get around the world really fast, even though you are moving slower. Maybe there's some demon
Turn the game
horse.
speed up and run
Yeah.
across the map.
There's like a quick button you can just like max out the game
Yeah.
speed just while you're exploring. Who knows? Maybe there's like some demon horse that we didn't see in the gameplay trailer that they're
Oh,
hiding.
that would be sick.
It would
that'd
fit
be
the
so
Oh,
world
sick.
as well. So
Yeah, Ghost Rider style. Maybe get like a nice fiery bike.
fiery Hidalgo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I don't. My experience with the arena kind of style, I don't have a lot that I can really speak to that. But you said they're switching it up so it's a lot more open exploration here this time. So
Yeah.
I think that's. I mean, it's new, and I mean that'll be. I guess this is gonna be my real first impression of Doom being in this open world. So I'm not gonna have that kind of harsh like critique aspect to it compared to the other ones. But I'm curious how it'll be experiencing it in this free exploration sense, and then transitioning to the arena. And I guess at that point I'll probably know like which I prefer.
Yeah, definitely. I think the only thing that I didn't like about this was at one point you're swimming around. I feel like the last thing I ever want to do in almost any game, but especially a Doom game, is swim. So hopefully that isn't a major part of it. I don't want like a water temple in this game. I want to run and jump, and I guess I'll run and not jump in this game, but don't make me swim. Come on, that's gonna suck. Any other thoughts on I guess this game or just the showcase as a whole? Going once, going twice.
No.
Sold. Yeah, I think this was, a good showcase. It sets up like this first few months of the year because we didn't have release dates for. I don't think there was release dates for Southman or Expedition 33. So I think it's good to get those out there, or Doom for that matter. Although I think Doom had spring. Maybe it actually already had that release date. I can't remember exactly, but I mean, yeah, like the January here, like Ninja Gaiden, that remake of 2 hitting Game Pass along with Sniper Elite, the new spin-off game there. Next month you got Avowed. The month after that you got Adamfall. The month after that, you got South of Midnight and Expedition 33. The month after that, you got Doom. And then the month after that is going to be the Xbox Showcase in the summer. And that'll, like, lay out the rest of the year. So it seems like a really... Like, I guess other than Doom, none of these are, like, huge AAA, like, God-tier status games or franchises. A lot of them are new IPs. But I still think it's, like, a really good run. And for me personally, it's games that I'm, like, almost exclusively super duper interested in. So I think it'll be a good, like, first half of the year for Xbox. And we'll see if this... I don't know, helps with their momentum issues that they've been having recently at all. Hopefully, I hope it does because I don't want them to lay off more people. That's really what it comes down to.
No, it's a powerful start to the year. And that Mafia game's too in the summer, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
The Old Blood or whatever the hell it's called.
Yep.
Some
that's blood.
old. That's old console. Sorry, that's all consoles though, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's got to be. Yeah. So there we go. And yeah, last topic here. This is gonna be kind of maybe 2 quick ones here, but 2 games canceled this week. First up, I'm gonna mention Earthblade is canceled. This was the game coming out from the Celeste developer. This is the game that they've been working on since Celeste in 2018. I mean, Celeste, got some ports and got some new levels, I think, added at some point. And they released Celeste 64, that smaller thing. So I was really looking forward to this. It seemed like okay, they're making a Celeste kind of game. It's got the crew's back together. This is going to be maybe more of a Metroidvania. But yeah, they announced just last week that the game is officially canceled. They have a pretty, not super long, but like a really in-depth blog post on their website of why they came to this decision. So I'm not going to take the words out of the mouth. You can go read that. I really appreciate the transparency. It's nice to know that like just where the divisions were happening within the team and how that wasn't working out and how the game just wasn't coming together in a big way. And I mean, good for them that Celeste was obviously a huge success and gave them clearly enough of a cushion that like they're financially fine to make this decision rather than having to like slog through another year or 2 of making this game that they're not really that into. Just to put it out, people would buy it because they know the developer, but maybe it's not that great of a game. Then they kind of lose some of their goodwill. So it's sad. It was one of my most hyped games for sure. And so this is a big bummer. But I guess the moral of the story is that I'm excited for whatever they do next. And I think it seems like this is the right move for their mental health and like for the good of the studio going forward. So hopefully it ends up having a silver lining. But means that we're going to be waiting another few years for the next game from that team if they decide to stick together. So we'll see what happens with that. And then the other cancellation is another Sony cancellation of another live service game, this time of a Horizon game. It was not being made by Guerrilla. It was being made by another studio that I did not write the name down of. But yeah, last week they canceled the God of War live service game. They canceled another game from Sony Bend, who was making something. So yeah, 3 cancellations in a week. Crazy. I don't think I have any new takes from what I said last week with Jessica. I think I spoke pretty at length of how I feel about this and how bleak it's looking and how bad it is. But like once again, I'm not even. I don't think I was going to play this Horizon live service game, but I still think this is probably going to lead to layoffs or a studio closure. And it's just like, what is PlayStation doing over there? Like, they just went all in on live service, bombed it with Concord, and then just canceled a bunch of games. Like, that's just, it's just looking so bleak for some PlayStation future, even though they have some silver linings. So I don't know. I guess throwing over to you, Kirkland, for like this just Sony like doomer take. I don't know if you've paid attention to these other cancellations, how you feel about all this in general, and if you have anything to add on Earthblade, go for it as well.
Yeah, it's definitely not good news whenever you hear like that many cancellations all in like a quick burst fire. But I think because I was just so uninvested in the whole idea of the live service game, I didn't have much skin in the game. It's unfortunate for those involved. Obviously, people are losing jobs, but I think it didn't do too much for me. The Celeste one, a little bit more of a bummer. I never played Celeste, but just seeing kind of the early ideas of what that game was, it looked really cool and unique. So it's just kind of unfortunate that it's never gonna fully see the light of day. But yeah, I mean, as long as the breakup of that of those developers and everything, it's more positive things in the future. But I don't know. I like the idea of what that was.
Mm-hmm. Any thoughts, Taylor?
I just gave the post a just quick peruse, and I think it is unfortunate to see a team split apart, but it seems like they made the happy right decision for themselves because they knew it, but they were waiting till now to kind of like unveil this news. But they seem relieved in how they wrote and worded some things. It seemed like it was just a lot of weight off their shoulders, and if you don't have a game coming out that's 110%, I mean that's a big thing I think we face is a lot of games come out, they don't feel polished, they don't feel finished, they feel like some passion is lacking from them, and so that's like kudos to them for calling themselves out on it and just shifting their priorities to make sure they deliver that for people. So I think that's okay, as unfortunate as it is. On the note of other projects being shut down, that is really, really unfortunate because I can't remember the entire list, but I remember you guys talking about it in the Discord and just naming off a few, and there's some big titles in there. I thought, well, that's got some weight behind it, and to cancel something like that, that's pretty major. So
Yeah.
who knows what they're up to in the long run or what their main business plan is. But hopefully they have some other chair they can sit on, because I mean, just to swoop that rug out from under their own feet and just to not have a backup plan or something like that's, I don't know. They put the money into it and they're just going to accept that loss. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it makes very little sense, but I guess they're just cutting their losses early rather than spending another few years to get these games like finished, I suppose. But it's
is it a tax write-off? Is that how it works for them?
I don't think it's a tax
like
write-off. Like
thing.
They still had
thing,
to pay hundreds of employees for several years. Like that's a lot of money in just raw salary. Obviously no marketing went into these games because they never got announced officially, but that's a fuck ton of money when you factor in obviously the Last of Us thing got canceled as well. Other ones that I'm sure we're not even aware of. I'm sure more will come. It seems like they're just fully ditching this live service train and going elsewhere. So yeah, I mean, Ghost is coming out this year. Death Stranding is coming out this year. What else? Maybe probably not Wolverine. I don't know what else is coming out this year. I'm sure they'll have some stuff, but I guess I'm just preparing for it might be a pretty quiet period for Sony for the next few years, even though it feels like, okay, we're gearing up. Should be the next Naughty Dog thing. But it's like, no, they spent a ton of time on this thing that got canceled. So whatever, I know they announced their game recently. What the hell is it called? Intergalactic. That's still probably at least 3 years away. I would wager.
Mhm.
And it seems like, well, now Bend, who's been doing nothing since, hasn't released something since Days Gone in 2019. Well, they've been working on this thing that's now canceled. So now it's 6 years to now, and it's going to be another probably 5 years before their next game. Like, I just feel like it's so unlikely that Sony doesn't like fire a bunch of people or like even just shut the studio down in general. But once again, I feel like I'm just repeating my takes from last week. So it's just, I'm just getting the heebie-jeebies, I guess, is like the best, weirdest way I could put it. So that is all for this week on Sidequest. Next week, who knows? We'll see what happens. I have a plan for something, but I also don't know how much internet I'll have in the next week or so here. So we'll see how that goes. Either way, stay tuned, subscribe so you can see what's coming up. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you guys for joining me, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.